Please copy the comparison. Written, we call here everything as resources. So I recommend you to just take a note of the architecture now. Please copy the architecture. Next thing is we'll focus on architecture. I'll try to put that in your document here because we cannot paste that. Okay, so just try to copy this. I'll make it bigger. Once you draw this diagram, let me know so that I will go ahead and explain in your paintbrush in your board. So this is configuration repository on the Puppet master, SSL node. They took here in your architecture, you're seeing two agents as examples. Have you guys copied? Done? Please confirm. I see Suresh Reddy done, Anusha done, Mahesh Reddy done. Okay. So I'll go ahead and explain it here. So this is our understanding of the puppet. So let me draw this. Okay. So we know that this is the server. I'll put it here. We'll say this as a client. We know that this name is called Puppet Master. I am trying to explain the architecture of Puppet. Got it? So this, you know that this PC has to be a Linux and it has to be a 64-bit, and that's what you know. And this machine you should call it as Puppet Agent. This can be a Linux computer. This can also be a Windows computer. And this can be, client should be always 64-bit. Got it? So on this, you'll install a software called as Puppet Server software. You'll have a copy that is called as Puppet Server copy. Let's us say that this is a software we require on this computer. On this side, we require something called a software name as Puppet Agent. Puppet Agent. Got it? Now, the flow is like this. So, this is a flow, you know it. It follows entirely pull mechanism, correct? Pull, not push. Remember, pull mechanism. What do you mean by the pull mechanism? This is a pull strategy. If the client is trying to approach the server and gets its updates and goes back and get it done, that is called, yeah, Sravanti, you are requesting me to wait. So once you, I'll just give 1 minute of time. Please go ahead and write the notes. I'll wait for a few minutes, guys. So somebody of your teammates has requested for slowdown. So meanwhile, I'll repeat the whatever I was talking. This is anyway Puppet Master. Name itself is called Master. This should be Linux computer. This should be 64-bit, and this should be on the software we are trying to install. That is called Puppet Server. And the name here we have something called Puppet Agent. This is called, this can be a Linux or a Windows. This can be a 64-bit, and this is an agent. So here client talks to the server based on pull mechanism. Okay, and they talk to each other based on SSL certificate. SSL certificate. There is some, as we done in the CHEF, some kind of a registration process. Here also we have to do some kind of an authentication between the client and the server. So once a client, if you attach it to a server, what happens is server will issue some SSL certificate, okay, to a client automatically. You need to understand that. You got this point what I spoke? So it's like a movie ticket, guys. So you can enter only into a theater after you have a ticket. Same situation, a client once you introduce to a server, server will issue a kind of an SSL certificate. So that goes and sits on the client side automatically. So as long as certificate, SSL certificate is valid, that means valid means you understand the meaning. As long as it is good, they can talk to each other. They can communicate. So if the certificate is failed, then they can't talk to each other. And the full form of SSL is Secure Socket Layer. Got it? Secure Socket Layer. Understood this, guys? Okay, full form is done. So let's say you are written some manifest. You know what is the meaning of a manifest? You know it, correct? As we written some place or recipe in and all the coding will be done on server only. So that means you need to log in into the server and write your manifest. Okay, once you return, you know the same procedure exists. So let's say once you return the manifest, it will, you need to do syntax check. If it is okay, then you have to upload it to the client. We have some kind of that procedure here. We'll do that later, but here plain understanding is once you're done with your manifest, Manifest gets converted into after compile. Compile means you know na? What is the meaning of a compile, guys? What is the meaning of compile? You know it. I think from the language, the meaning is same. Once you check with your syntax, everything is fine, then it is going to convert into something called catalog. You understood this? Understand the procedure. You will write the manifest, you will do a compile, then it gets converted into a catalog. This catalog gets traveled over to the client and gets the process. Once it is over, catalog has done its work, whatever the code you have done. Then it comes back to the server in the form of facts. You understood now? In the form of facts. So let's like this. I'll redraw this diagram in a bigger picture. See, this is server. Imagine this is a server and this is your client computer. We call this as an agent. We call this as a master. So this is how. So you will write the manifest, correct? This guy who is logged in here, you will write the manifest. You do compile. That means once the compile is done, it is getting as catalog, correct? It gets travel as catalog. Catalog goes to the client computer, that means agent. Once it goes, it implements its work, whatever it is done, whatever you written. Then once it goes back to the server saying, it goes back to the server, it has to report whether it has done or not. So that whatever the reporting structure we call here as facts. And on the computer, we see that as a reports. You understood the words now? You will write manifest, you do compile, catalog goes to the agent. Once the work is over, it converts as facts. On the way, it is called facts. That means facts are coming. Once it reaches the server, they we see in the form of reports.